Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie and I'd like to welcome you to this special edition of Doodle Gems. In the next 4 to 6 weeks, we're going to be making a series of different projects. All of them will be using doodle gems that we've learned how to make in the previous 32 episodes. So look in the description below, find out the materials we need for today's version of Doodle Gems, and let's get started. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm so excited that you're here. We are going to be doing some ornaments using a template. You don't have to have this type of a template. You could grab things like the caps off of bottles, the actual bottle itself, a roll of tape, and you could get multiple sizes. You see how, looking down on this right here, you could have this size, this size, this size, and that. So you could get 4 circles off of these 2 things. But I'm going to use a template because it's flat and it's easier for you to see. So what I am going to do is I'm doing a gem in the center, sort of like this. It's not going to be exactly like that. This one was done all freehand, and I wanted to do something that was a little bit more reproducible for you. So I'm going along here and making my circles. This is very much like doing the mandala that we did a couple episodes ago when I was celebrating my 2,000 subscribers. So I'm going to go ahead and get a few of these on here just so that we can color and draw and not have to worry about making all of the circles, making a set of circles every time. This is called Work Smarter, Not Harder. So anything that you can do at the holidays in sort of a production line, you're still doing individual art. You're still making individual projects for people. But if you can do it in a bit of a production line, you are ahead of the game. All right, guys, we are going to be doing a sort of sapphire blue type of gem. So I'm going to have the indigo blue, white, the Mediterranean blue, the peacock blue, and the light cerulean blue. And then we'll do the pen work. But to start off with, I'm going to do the gem. So I'm going to zoom in for you. Alrighty, so this is going to be a sapphire type gem, but it is going to have a cabochon style to it. So that means it's a smooth, clear dome color. Alrighty, so what we're going to do here is I need to lighten up this pencil just a bit and get that dot out of the center. So I hope that you guys enjoy these next few weeks as we are making different types of doodle gem projects to use for gifts or decorations. I'm excited about it. I'm enjoying the thought of getting projects done early. I hope you guys are going to enjoy the next few weeks of projects that I've got coming up for you. This first one here is a fun ornament. I know I've got 6 circles on this card. I'm only going to be needing 4 of them. Now, by putting the white down first, it lightened up this blue. It makes it slip around a bit on that card, because if I go up here where the white isn't, you can see how that's a little bit more dark, but it's still in the same color family, which makes it nice. It's almost like getting 2 colors for one. Go ahead and just smooth that in. going to be taking another even darker color of blue. But I just wanted to get that laid in there. So now you can see it looks like a two-toned, but it doesn't really look like a gem yet. It doesn't look smooth and shiny. I'm going to take this color, which is not quite as dark as my darkest color yet, but I'm going to start laying in what would be the background, the deeper inside the gem color. And I'm taking that in sort of a giant letter C, or an open-edged circle. See how that's lining up there? And it's going to look like it's farther away into the background. It's going to get blended in. Now I'm going to, and that was with the Mediterranean blue. The first blue was the light cerulean. So it was white and then light cerulean blue, Mediterranean blue, and now I've got the Peacock. The Peacock is really pretty and it's very vibrant when it is all on its own. It's a little more green of a blue. It sort of pops up. It is going to be my, again, not quite the darkest blue yet, but pretty close. It's sort of a middle blue. It's a different tone than that dark blue, the Mediterranean, that I had going into the background. See how that's starting to blend in? I'm going to grab the white again because I want to sort of mush those colors around, because I like mushing colors. And I'm not trying to replicate a true gem. What I'm trying to do is make something that's pretty. And there's going to be a nice big doodle going on around this too. And I just realized that I am picking up pattern from my card that I have underneath here. This paper has kind of a texture to it. So I'm going to drop some more of the hard, smooth paper under here so that I'm not picking up the pattern, and I can kind of blend that out a little bit. There we go. There we go. And the last color on this is going to be the indigo blue, right around the outside. I'm even going to pull some down underneath of this brighter, lighter toned area, just because shadows show up in surprising places on these gems that are transparent. And I think I'm even going to darken up that dark blue, darken up that Mediterranean blue with just a hit, just a tiny hint. There we go, of indigo. Smooth it out. There's so much color on here now that I can smooth out my colors with very little pressure. So looking at that, and now just take a bit of this white right over the top, smooth that out. Smooth out some of that indigo. See, it's still staying pretty dark even with taking the white over it, but it's making it a little less strong. Making that dark just a little less strong. Now, I am going to go ahead and start doodling. because the doodle is a fun part to do. And this time I'm using a Pitt Artist Pen, the Black 199. This is a size F, which is the fine. Because my Pigma microns are all dying on me. I need to buy more. I have been drawing so much with black pens. There we go. Just remember, doodles. Doodle, doodle, doodles. Doodles do not require being perfect, having a smooth hand. You want this to still look like it was handmade. And I am going to do a star pattern. And this is going to be an 8-pointed star. What I'm doing here is I am marking my basically north, south, east, and west. And then halfway between those, I will put another mark. You notice how precisely not I am doing my north, south, east, west, and my marks in between. I'm not measuring. I'm using my eyes. I'm making it pleasing to my eye. And now I'm going to do these fun triangles and rotate. Always rotate your work to make it easier for your hands, your eyes, your mind, and rotating again. Don't feel confined or constricted to one position. Now, cool thing here, because this is going to make it look like it's a whole lot more complicated than it really is. I am going to put a tiny dot in the center of each triangle, right on that inner ring that it's touching. And I'm going to make this line go to that dot. So each triangle is going to have two sides that are going to the dot on the inside of the previous triangles. I know it sounds a lot more complicated than it is, but look what it does. It gives you all of these other little triangles inside of the big triangle. So you've got this one big triangle on each of the four corners, both ways. And then you get two more little triangles on the inside of that. That, I think, is extra bonus. And now, I think I am going to put a circle between each of those points. This is an 8-pointed star. It is just a decorative star. It doesn't mean anything. Or at least it doesn't mean anything to me, except that it has 8 points and it's pretty. How's that? And then I'm going to make a line that meets up. It sort of goes over the top of each circle that's in between. It's going to make kind of a winding line, just sort of winding along. A little drunken path here, just up and down. Sort of like a flower. And see how this line really swoops. This one really swooped. That's okay, because if I don't like that, I can just connect up like this. And then I can just go and make it a feature. See? You just make it a feature. It's not a flaw. It's a new feature. Now you don't even know which one it was that I had done with the wobbly hand to begin with. So look at that. All right. Now I think I want a second line around that. But I'm going to do a line like this. Because you know what this is looking like are sort of leaves wandering around my little path. And if those are leaves, I can have another leaf on them, or I can make a swirly stem. I think they're getting a swirly stem. Just a swirly stem. Look at that. Now, I don't want to make it too intricate because I am going to have to do it 3 more times. But I want to do a little bit more because this doesn't look like it would be finished. And I want it to be a finished type of gem. Doodle Gem Ornament. I want it to be a finished type of Doodle Gem Ornament. So it needs a little bit more. I think part of what it needs is maybe some petals on these flowers. I'm giving it 3 petals. I do not intend on coloring in the doodle. The gem is the only color that is going to be on mine. But you can certainly draw these up and color them, or draw them up in black and white and give them as a gift. Make it into a kit. Give it to a friend to finish as their gift. Then they can color it, and then they can make it into the ornament that they can hang on the tree, or hang in their window, or hang in their office cubicle. This is one of those kinds of projects that makes a really good Secret Santa or your secret elf type project, because it is intricate enough to look like you spent some time, or you had a person that you knew how to get in touch with to help you make it. If nobody knows that you actually do artwork, it makes it really easy to do these kinds of projects for gifts. If you are someone who does a lot of artwork, see if there's a way for you to get the newest person in your office as your Secret Santa person that you're doing things for, because they don't know yet how creative you are, and you can totally blow their socks off. I love doing the Secret Santa at work just because it's fun to surprise people. All right, I'm going to make a few little designs here in the petals. A few little designs in the petals. There's going to be a little bit of shading in the triangles. Not all the triangles, just a couple. Look at that, I've gone all the way around. And so I'm going to do a little bit of shading in these little tiny triangles. Look at that. It brings them out, makes them a little more prominent without being too much. And one of the nice things about doing this as a gift for someone to finish, if you color the gem so that you know that it's got something to it, that if they decided all they wanted to do was glue it together and hang it up, they could do it and they'd have a finished, beautiful looking ornament. All right, so we're going to put the shine on here. And remember that the darkest part of the gem gets the brightest highlight, which is really counterintuitive. You would not expect the brightest highlight to go on the darkest part of the gem, but it does. And then you've got just a tiny bit down here at the bottom. Maybe a little, just a little scrape of it along the edge up there. I did take an eraser and erase the pencil lines that were on here. So now what we're going to do is I want to flip these over to their back side because I want to score or indent a line that is approximately halfway. I'm not going to be, too terribly worried about it. But this is the side that the line, where the glue or your double stick tape is going to go on this side here. Because this is where the, whoops, sorry, went too far away. It's going to be this way. So you score it away from, or you're going to fold away from the scored line or the embossed line. So it's going to go this way. Now I'll do the rest of them really quick here. And again, I am not being too particular. You could certainly get out your ruler. Oh, I have a ruler, but you could certainly measure and figure out where exactly halfway is. I'm a little off. I'm going to go ahead and just redo the line. It doesn't have to be perfect. See, my circles are not exactly perfect. If you want, you could try just folding it. I've got really heavy cardstock, which makes it a little bit harder to do that. So, but when you stick them together, it's not going to make that much of a difference. The nice thing is the edge here is white and the backs are white. If you were using a cardstock that was white on one side and colored on the other, you'd have to make sure that you trimmed very carefully. All right, so if I'm looking at that there, I should have grabbed a shorter ruler. Let's see, I think that's about right. Oh, that one's close. That one's close. Look at that. That's pretty darn close. It's a little off. Again, it doesn't bother me. And one more here. Give it a good, quick. Shoop. You could use anything. You could use the back edge of a pair of scissors. I happen to have a little ball and stylus that's used for embossing or used for making paint dots. If you were a nail person, you probably know that. And before I put them together, I'm just taking an 1/8 inch hole punch. And I'm going to punch, actually I need to do it so I can see. Just going to punch a hole in the top. There, now you can see the hole in the top. And I'm doing 2 at one time. 2 at one time. Not perfect, close enough. And to make it so this will go together a lot faster, I'm going to use double stick tape. Now, double stick tape does not hold as well as glue. And if I were using glue, which is what I did on my first one, on this one, I used a thick white PVA type glue. I'd use the Aleene's Tacky Glue, but you could use any type of thick white PVA glue. Now you want to make sure that your hands are clean when you're doing that, because I got some little smutsy bits on here from my fingers. And you don't want that. Now I'm going to go ahead and just get tape. And you only have to tape 2 of them. Because of the way we're putting these together, I'll put that long one on there. Because of the way we're putting these together, you are not going to need to put tape on all 4 of those. You'll see what I mean in just a second. Okay, let me get finished throwing the tape on here. And one more side. And this is just craft store double stick tape that comes on a big roll. It's not anything super. You could get some of the extra special super duper heavy duty thick tape, but I don't find the need for it for this type of a project. And then you just peel the liner off. I'm only peeling it off of half of it, so that way I'm not sticking it down funny. So the tape is right here. See if you can see that. You can kind of see the tape there. All right. And then we're going to line this up. Whoop. Almost. Okay. Then we're going to line up the top, because that's the part and the fold. Then everything else will come together. So now I'm going to pull off the tape on this side. And we're going to line up the top and the fold. Well, that one, nice thing about the double stick tape is before it is truly stuck down, you can pop it apart. I hadn't burnished it or anything like that or squeezed it tight. The fourth one, the last one, is pretty easy to put down also, because we can flatten the whole thing down and just line it all up at once. So I'm going ahead and taking the liner paper off of all of the pieces of tape. And I am lining up my hole up the top, and I'm lining up my seam, my fold. There we go. So now we're going to squish this down all the way around. Just squish down all of the sides. And there you go. Look at that. See, you can see from here that you've got 4 sides to it. If you look at it from there, doesn't that look like that gem and that gem just went right together? That's an optical illusion that happened because we put the circle in the center in about the same place. See there? And we put the highlights in about the same location also. They're not perfectly in the same spot, but it's close enough. And you can see where this hole is here. You would be able to slip your ribbon or your string. If you didn't want to use a heavy-duty, big, fluffy ribbon, you could just string it with a piece of narrow ribbon, you'd be able to do that and send it with the ribbon already tied through. In the mail. And you could tie it in a bow or you could tie it in a knot. There we go. Tie it in a bow. And I'll zoom in on that for you one last time. And we'll slide those things out of the way. There we go. Look at that. Pretty little ornament that folds flat and isn't too thick. This would go in a card and you would be able to mail it. And with this type of a ribbon tie on it, you would be able to just leave it tied and have it fly away to its next destination. All right, guys, so if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button, click the subscribe, share with your friends that might be interested in doing these types of projects, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And if you have any suggestions or ideas on how to make this better or projects that you would like to see me work on, please leave them in the comments also. And as always, go out and do something creative. Take care. Bye-bye.